All right. Maybe I think that's what my approach will be this morning until I'm told otherwise. Expect maybe a gap fill. It would kind of put us at like the perfect liquidity spot. I'd be around like the high 70s. What's that look like on the hourly chart? A little bit deeper. Potentially. We're hitting our downtrend channel right now. The daily close yesterday was pretty good. Still just an inside bar though. Opening this morning and just above it. We'll see how it goes. I think I'll be patient. See if the market wants to gap fill. It gives me an opportunity to get in for that direction. But also remembering, although this gap's not very big relative to the last couple gaps, we seem to be filling them much later in the day. $45.06. Yeah, like 90-point daily candle yesterday. The day before that was like 150. Jeez. Check above 99.50 rated open. Check the extreme. Didn't get quite to it. Okay. Okay. Get up over the high. Yeah, just barely. There we go. Okay. Our moving average on the daily is around the low 20s right now. We know we've got this high here. This little area of accumulation through here. Don't know how much they're going to respect those though, really. Pulling back, retesting our breakout level. Do we hold? Morning one time. How was your day yesterday? Trying to hold that breakout level. Yeah, thanks, man. I waited so long yesterday for a setup, and then it happened as I was eating lunch. I was like, man, I gotta take this. I was a little ambitious to take that second trade real quick after, but it did like almost the same pattern I wanted to see again, but it happened so quickly I didn't really assess it well enough. I just kind of got right in. But yeah, I was glad that I waited to take profits like I wanted to on that one. Oh, nice. Yeah, I decided to go back and do a quick little journal entry so that it was there for myself. Looks like it is rejecting this high right now. We have quite a strong rejection, really. Maybe we do get our gap fill earlier in the session. We'll see. We have there was 2 economic releases that came out before the market opened. One was good, one was bad, and we have one more at 11. Checked a low a day. Doji, some indecision, a little bit of buy up here. Larger time frame. Are we gonna get our pullback? So far, it looks like rejection of those higher levels. That's a pretty bearish candle on that retest. Probably gonna get a little bit of a lower check here, yeah. That's a big 5-minute candle. Woo! So there's no one timing event for me to get into for low ones. Not really interested in a mean reversion trade here. Might watch and see if something sets up right a little bit closer to gap fill. If we get the right price action down there. Inside candle. Big inside candle though, basically the same range as the first candle. We are at the actual swing point from down here that pushed this high. Makes sense for some longs to be here, maybe some profit taking. Second inside candle. This one checked below instantly. There's another low. Market goes into breakout mode off that inside. Does it successfully break out to the downside? Yep. For now. So we're checking our liquidity under that major swing point here on the 5-minute now. Approaching the gap fill level. There's some things lining up here, location wise. We're definitely getting some reaction from our gap fill level. Wasn't super interested in doing something with that doji candle though. Still respecting that level, moving average and the underside of what we lost there. Gonna come back up and try again. It's definitely going to be some shorts trapped if it were to break back up over 83.50. Might get a quick push back up above 86. Oh, not yet. Looks like they held it for now. Never gave the trigger underneath that either. We had like instant buy pressure when that bear candle closed, which makes the short squeeze trade even better. Happening from a good location. Definitely did not squeeze like I anticipated. More like a real tight, slight range here. Oh. Sellers were still stronger. New low again. The market's achieved its gap fill. Tested above yesterday's inside candle, finding some sellers at those levels. Maybe we stay range bound and we come back and we're approaching, you know, we need to recheck the other side. Definitely didn't like above yesterday's candle for sure so far. Still going. Big liquidity point underneath 57 and a quarter and 43.75. Mark these so I don't have to zoom out again. Strong push though. I will say our opening volume is not as strong as it has been though the last couple days, not even close. So I guess it's 180 so far. 5 candles in a row. Small inside candle. Oh, never mind. Check below first. We're gonna keep going. Really looks like it wants to check below this level. Getting there pretty easily, it seems like. Yep, there it is. Tested just a whisker below it so far, but we did go through it. There's a little bit more. So first major liquidity area. Big 2-bar reaction with a 1 tick. See how this candle closes. Happened at a nice liquidity area. Big candle though, wowzers. Wow. The low, my stop out needs to be like 54. 1 tick above so far. There we go. Okay. Not a 1 tick fill. It's good. I can't long up here. I can't chase it that far. There's no way. This is a very long, great long setup, but it's so big. Wow, wow. It's so bullish looking. I can't see us getting another entry at the low. Not right now. Or it's not going to look the same. The only way that we could get into this is if we got a little bit of slowdown and then an opportunity that way. Something that really speaks that's like long above this. Oh, I mean, is it going to come right down and give me the entry I just said wasn't going to happen? so far away though, like point wise, that if it came all the way back down here visually, do I even still want it, you know? Instead, what I should have done is shorted right underneath this guy. We had so many in a row. That was the low one right there, and I was just too focused the other way. Was my miss right there. Should have shorted first candle to make a low. Boom. That's what I expected. Let's see if it goes through. Just once I get all the way back down here, it's like it doesn't really look like the same potential setup anymore. But man, my brain was focused for long, so I missed what was actually happening. That was the low one off the short trade right there. Boom. Ooh. Yeah, here comes the 11 report. Damn, it held to the tick, man. To the tick. Came back, retested the breakout entry. Literally exactly. To the tick that way. Insane. The respect. The number came out green, 69.1, 65 expected. There's our new low. I wouldn't have held through that though with this trade. It would have, as soon as we would have started to get buy ups off that bottom, I would have exited that trade. There's no way I'd still be in it. So next major liquidity point to check is 43.75 underneath. We got a reaction off the first one, still pushed lower. Sellers are very, very strong today. Looking more and more like we want to check the lows. Looks like we failed on the 1 hour to break out of our downtrend channel, holding. Maybe we go right back to the other side. That was a two-legged pullback on a smaller time frame. So far, it looks to be rejecting that area above. We got a good short entry around the moving average. I still expect this market to push below this level. Testing our underneath. Can remove this line. This looks more bullish than we've got lately. I mean, this was quite bullish too, but still anticipating another leg down though. We might get him move up first, but I feel like the market wants to check under there eventually. So if I get a good short opportunity, I'll take it. This playlist is all over this place. The second leg. First one failed here. First attempt to short failed here. This is the second try. It's happening right at the underside. No trigger though, and instant buys back up. Bid's really not letting go though. They fighting. There's the trigger. Did happen on the second candle after signal. Oh, there it goes. Wasn't a good enough signal bar for me, but looks like it is working. There it goes. There's our next low. Do we check below our 44? There it is. All right, check below both major liquidity areas from the last 24 hours that we expected. Next one's 23. We make it that far. This was the two-legged pullback. It was so close, forming how I wanted. Criteria was there, location was there, everything. Outside up candle, inside candle. Wasn't enough sellers at the breakout level retest off these two. Coming a little higher. We might come up higher now and check higher. The bottom of the range wasn't strong enough. Big inside candle. Closed on its lows. No low one opportunity here for me. The only low one opportunity we've had so far was this one, and I was completely focused on a different thing. So we're chilling. Could do a two-legged pullback. This is the first attempt to short. This one would have to fail and let's come back up and get a second one. Back up almost to the 49s. I was watching the asks were getting hit at the 49s like a lot before. Very much. Never got through 50 yet. Still haven't broken through 50. There it is. Right to the moving average. Do we regain it right away? Or do we set up here? That was a quite good pop right there. That was a nice stop out pop for sure. Definitely didn't bump its head on it. It is trying to go through it. Doji candle close. So a second attempt to short actually hasn't happened yet. It was a good squeeze up there. Got above that 1 minute level. Makes sense on the 5 minute pullback. We did get a lot of 5 minute candles in a row. This is the first pullback, so when we eventually make it, if we do make it to the moving average, I would definitely expect some hesitation there. Maybe. Definitely didn't break out above that level with any confidence so far. It's a pretty big 2-bar. So second attempt to short now. Second time candle made a low, and we've got our trigger bar now. Can't breakout trade it though because the risk is like, 10 points. We also did go far enough past the first attempt that this is kind of almost like a floor now for us that we have to lose as well. We've got 2 areas to get through to make a new low. I'm not super sold on the short trade anymore, if I'm being completely honest. I don't like that it's trying to hold that. It did give a limit order back up in, but there's also a part of me that's just saying to don't like this one as much. If it would have happened like down here instead, I would have been all on board, but yeah, I'm okay with it if it works and it goes. It's fine. Taking a second attempt here. Still at the high side of it. This test, though, didn't get us anywhere, so I mean... the fact that this one came down now as well, we probably will continue. But we'll see. The fact that it didn't set up perfectly for me visually, I just don't want to accept extra size risk like that for something that's not perfect. So be patient. This is the first time this morning that we've tried to reverse long. Get a little bit of a pullback. So there would be a lot of people interested in that, I feel. For a continuation of the downside, I mean. People that didn't get anything out of that short move finally get a pullback. Just like, you know, that first pullback, lots of people try to get in on. Got a blow off candle, inside candle, test below. Ooh. That looks like a good long signal. Ooh, does it ever. $45 stop out. It's just gonna go. Yeah, that was a great exhaustion last push, inside candle, check below, reverse the other way. Great little reversal setup there. Same thing though, risk too big. Needed to get in on a pullback, expecting this low to hold. But with the type of condition that we're in right now, people be getting short. Probably won't get a pullback. It would be like a squeeze effect. The candle closed as an inside candle. We might get a retest. We sure are. Check just below that inside candle on the 5-minute chart now. Does it go the other way? That's a big candle. Check just below. And then it instantly did that. Ooh. That looks juicy. Juicy, juicy. Oh, my Lanta. She's getting a little messy, but I mean, it does look better for longs down here at this level. That was pretty greasy, I'm not gonna lie. But tested the same level, basically. Same crazy bullish reaction. We are still getting bearish reactions from up top, but looking at this pattern playing out now, this inside candle, check below. Now we're checking above. The market looks to me like it wants to come up. Get out of there. So far, we have a 1-tick poke extension, guys. That's I'd like to see more than that before that thing sells off. There we go. I liked those setups there, to be honest. They did look nice to get long off of, but the way that I would have tried to do it was a breakout here with my stop under here. And then when that happened for the pullback, I was like, I would have expected a quicker squeeze. So I didn't limit order the pullback when it was that deep. didn't happen as clean as I would have wanted through here, which kind of tells me that there's still selling pressure like relevant for sure. We've now done 2-leg pullback on the 5-minute chart and are, I mean, you could read this as a failed breakout above that level. Inside candle close at its low. Continuation. So we've just actually triggered that 2-legged pullback now finally on the 5-minute chart. It's such a big move. Like, so how way I would normally do this, right? This is, I would measure this move, and then from here I'd put it down again, expecting a measured move down. Like, this is a very small 2-legged pullback. The candles are huge, and like, it's a lot of ticks, but relative, like if you ignore that part and just look at it, we got a straight shot down, we got a small little flag, and we're trying to extend down again. This thing could do the measured move, come right down. There's our break low a day. No big follow through yet. Nice. It's a good scalp there, man, for sure. No time. Yeah, for sure. Yep. It definitely was. It rejected the new low a day for sure. Eight seconds. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. It is definitely trying to reject that low a day. Maybe we get a W pattern instead of continuation to the downside. Not sure yet though. It was a failed breakout so far, that's for sure. Ooh. Push inside. Test. Reject. See if it actually rejects or if that was just a quick flicker sell. Didn't close past. Good reversal pattern right there. See, I normally trade these on the breakout, but I can't because, you know, these 1 minute candles are like 6 points. Nuts. I want a circle this pattern because it's going to go into the review. Whether it wins or loses, it's still something that I wanted. Yep, good reversal trade. So the tease of the W did not follow through. Not yet. Because it went down again now, I anticipate a move to continue. This was kind of hopeful for the start of a W, but nope. That pattern right there. Yes. Yep. Yeah, if we get underneath yesterday's low, I mean, I like to do measured moves for these big one-time aggressive pushes. And I mean, let's quickly math it. 46.06, 38. So we'll just say like 40. So we'll say it's like 60 points, 65 points or so. That would put us to 4,500. The second leg of this push, if it's equal, would be around 4,500. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, really, in my opinion. If you were to not look at the numbers on the side and just look at this chart and look at like the leg push, I mean, that's generally how I was taught to do it. That's how I expect what to get out of the second leg if you get in properly. It's a long ways away still, but the range, man, in the last week, these ATRs on these days are friggin' just gigantic. Yeah, when I do my legs, so like leg 1 and leg 2, I generally expect similar movement out of, and if I get that, I do again expect a third push, but the third push I usually expect minimal movement out of. That's kind of how I do it. If you get the spike off of like the this was like a reversal spike, right? One leg, 2, and then like your second leg push off that pullback, I do a measured move from the deep, like the retracement level to the new extreme. It's just rough, but it works actually relatively well. And then the third push, I do not do any kind of measured move. I often expect very little out of the third push. Yeah, no worries. Maybe that, hopefully that's helpful somehow. Got big momentum ignition again. I got 5-6 candles in a row, making lower lows, lower highs. So this is we're approaching our next big liquidity point, just underneath this 22 level. Be some profit taking and stuff around there potentially. Gonna do my monthly review this weekend, man. I got this will be my first full month where I got to trade every session again since last winter. I've watched charts every day and managed some swing trading and stuff, but haven't got to day trade futures since last winter. I had to say my goal for my first month was to like practice discipline. And I do feel like I did pretty well as far as that goes. It was a good learning month. I got lots of data to go through. And it's all video recorded too, which is awesome. So I'm really going to go through it hard this weekend and find a few. I don't want to really make changes, like a lot of changes at all. There might be like one or two small tweaks that I'm going to do depending on what I'm seeing, if I really notice something very consistent or inconsistent. But yeah, I made the mistake in the past of like, when I go to do my review, changing a whole bunch of stuff, and then when I come back the next week, then I just have wildly mixed results again because I changed too much stuff. Definitely my discipline kept me from losing a bunch of money this month. I actually did net positive, like basically nothing, but it wasn't net negative. So that's for my first month back, that's something. If I would have taken every opportunity that I wanted every day, I would have been nice and profitable, but I don't have the confidence quite to do that yet. So, but it was a really good first month back. Quite happy. Yes, absolutely. Being truly patient and like waiting for those setups that like really speak to you, that you really want, you know, that you were stalking, and then it sets up exactly like how you want when you've been watching. So about to go through our first liquidity point here. And we just tested below it right there. Don't know if there'll be enough profit taking there for that level to be of relevance or not. Seems to have gone through it now by a couple points, not too troublesome. It's a nice low one opportunity there, but same thing, man. Like 6 points worth of risk. I can't accept it. So I either need to trade micros on days like this, or one thing I'm going to do in my review is like I said, I'm going to decide if I want to allow myself to trade the setups on these big ATR days, because the setups still happen. Everything is still the same. It's just the risk is double, but the payout's double. But as far as my daily cap on loss and stuff like that, one or two losers at 6 or 7 points, I mean, you're like, I'm pushing it, man. Like I'm not comfortable with that. So I just don't do it. I don't trade it. So I either need to say that, okay, I'm going to give myself one loss on these days for like the perfect setup. You get one chance, one situation that if you really, really want it, you know, that keeps it within my risk tolerance, but I can't do it multiple times. And then if I take the win, then I have a little bit of sustain to like, if it really shows again, to try again. But yeah, I'm trying to grow my confidence in my setups again, so that I do have the patience to sit on my hands when they're not there, and to like, you know, and also to be confident in taking it again a second time relatively quickly if needed. Part of my inconsistency problem came from not truly believing in my setups. So when there was maybe setups that happened that I missed or didn't take, and then I take one that I shouldn't have taken. But I definitely feel that I did overcome that quite quite well this month. It did feel good to be patient. So I just need to grow on that. Keep playing on that. Yeah, like I'm trying to convince myself that these days aren't the norm, they're the exception, right? Like we had like 30 days before we got these big couple ATR days, and like it always happens like that. The market generally these days are the exception, not the norm. So I don't want to really tailor my trading to it too much, you know. In my head it sounds better to just be patient during those times. But it is enticing to I want to be able to get involved in these big moves, right? Like, of course you want to. The opportunity is huge, but is it the right thing to do? Just trying to really stay truly disciplined to my risk and like manage my risk. Manage my risk and stay disciplined so that I can, I can tailor a strategy and like make small tweaks as I'm going. But those two concepts are like the number one for me. And if I can prove to myself that I can do those two things consistently, whether I'm winning or losing, I don't care, as long as I'm managing the risk the same, and and that I'm staying consistent to those like 2 strategies or 3 strategies that I'm trying to do, and that's it. Then I can work from there. But I have to achieve those first 2 things first. Yeah, definitely don't. Absolutely. Yeah, you're because you're never going to get perfection. A little bit of a micro reversal W here happening. It's happening underneath our liquidity point. Next liquidity point is here, and then our major. That 4,500 is getting closer and closer, dude. Also can move my short level to there. We're gonna get our second leg, one leg. Get our second leg up maybe. Lots of people are longing here. Okay, second leg complete. Yeah, the price action has been pretty wild today, man. Pretty wild. Well, we're pulling back again now on the 5-minute chart. We definitely did not achieve our measured move. We got about like 3/4 of it. Yeah. We did like a 40-something point move. Could continue a little further, but it is crazy fast. And then like it goes, like the candles are so big that it just goes. Like as soon as it decides that it's imbalanced on one side or the other, it just goes boom straight to the target from like the trade setup. It often hits the target from what I'm thinking about doing before I even press the button or get close to putting the order in. So aggressive. We did kind of get a 2-bar here. I don't like when it starts that low, but it is happening at the right location, right at that moving average. They're definitely respecting that moving average. There's the trigger. Coming straight back up, retest that entry. Ooh, it's coming back after testing the entry. We haven't got a candle that made a lower low after the retest of the entry, so even if I was short off of this entry on the trigger candle, I couldn't have moved my stop to break even yet. Not until we go lower. Okay, now I could have. So now if it comes back, I definitely wouldn't want it. It would take me out break even right there. That is a decent limit. None of these candles made a high. Quick stop out on everybody. Getting out of break even. We did fail the pattern. This was breaking that swing low. 1 minute chart. Retest the high, fail. We continue to go lower. We have inside so far. 20 seconds left on this candle. It's gonna close inside. Yep. Oh, it went down first. All right. I literally had to take my hands off the mouse because I was so ready to FOMO short here. I mean, sure, it would have worked, but it's not how I trade right now, so I had to not. The reason I wanted to was for that one concept that we stair-stepped up twice. We did fail at the perfect location. And then the two-legged pullback had enough force to push down and break below that swing low that pushed that high. So the retest of that swing high, you anticipate it not to break for a new low extreme. It's like literally perfect, but I don't trade that style of entry anymore. That's how I used to trade. I would have literally just, I only ever used to allow myself to risk 100. So I would just literally count the swing high. So 38.80, so my stop out would be 34. I would just put a resting order at 32. It never actually would have got filled, but because that was the maximum risk I could afford. There was no other part to the strategy. Just count the stair steps, see what's pushing, swings pushing, and then rest orders at the opposite extremes. It's kind of why I still draw the lines the way that I do. It's a similar, keeps my mind looking for the right trade usually. But now I would have traded the breakout of the signal off of that and expected it to just go. This retest would have knocked me out at break even. I will say that if this would have gave it inside, which I know is a breakout pattern. It's a small little flag. but I would have preferred to see it try to go up and then fail instantly, and I would have got in off that because I do allow myself to trade those patterns. So that would have used like two theories together that really would have amplified my conviction, but it didn't happen that way. It just inside and then broke to the downside. Didn't give me the up attempt first. I was hoping it would, but it didn't, because then I could have taken the trade. I wanted it so bad, but good discipline though, I guess. Didn't FOMO, didn't do it. So same thing happening here. Last exhaustion push, inside candle, inside candle. If we go down and fail and come the other way, good long opportunity. Same thing. Big leg, second leg, third leg is often very small. We've done a three-legged push now. It didn't go quite as far as I was anticipating, but this is another flag, like reversal pattern after like a nice push. But it has to attempt to break in a direction and then go the other way. Broke below the inside candle. It closes bullish. Okay, we attempted the breakout. Do we break out successfully or do we reverse? It break out a little bit more than I would normally want to see presentation wise, so. Inside, break out to the downside. Certainly trying to fail the breakout. Definitely. Woo! Quick squeeze back. Like, even if I had my resting breakout order over here so that if it came back, it would be presenting like this, expecting to get that slide, still too big, man. Like 19 to 1375, still 6 points. It's just too big. I really like this though. One leg, two leg, third leg, final flag. We got a nice reversal, inside, failed breakout. This could be a nice reversal point. It's gonna come back and test the entry. Right there, literally to the tick. If it came down a little further, man, I'd probably hit the bid here. Come a little further, come a little closer. Shoot, it's not gonna. I needed it to be a little cheaper. Dang. That's all right. It's good read, good understanding of what's happening. Good opportunity. I'm just not emotionally willing to accept that much risk. I guess here I could have got in. It to the tick would have given me my 4 points. 4 and a little bit. I could have got in if I had the resting trade. That was a really good read down here. Very good read. And because we had such strong follow through, I would anticipate and I would be perfectly like wanting to keep this trade now. Like I'd be wanting to swing this trade for a move up here. That's what I would be looking for. My stop would have been moved up to break even at this point because we've tested and then gone. So I don't want it to come back now. I want it to go the other way. Like this is like an urgency, you know, play. I want it to happen relatively quickly. Target would be like somewhere up here near the high. Ideally it would be a little bit past, but because it's such large move, I wouldn't want to get greedy. I'd be okay somewhere near the high. And then I would anticipate the 5-minute chart to test above its swing and then probably pull back to test its W. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, still looking great. Looking great. It looks so good that I want to buy into some weakness for what I expect to happen, but I don't have a good stop out location. There's no swings for me to use. First attempt to short. This is the second attempt to short. 1 tick under so far. 2 ticks. I want to bid into weakness right now so bad. That triggered the shorts. This should be the trigger to now squeeze up. Did not follow through like I wanted. More weakness than I expected, for sure. Definitely much, very much. Be getting, if you were still holding this trade, that was your breakout ping right there. Unfortunate. Unless you were aggressive with it. That's that super strong downtrend day. Still showing you to stay on the right side of the trend right there. Trade did work for like a 10-point move, but it definitely did not hit my target location that I would have been going for. It's a perfect liquidity spot for the 5-minute trade underneath that 1-minute support. But I was kind of like a squeeze play reversal. Definitely the urgency was there until here. And then really that was a pretty clean 2-bar. Played out. We're getting some more inside candles here. Get a new low? Not yet. Same thing as before, exhaustion push bar, couple inside candles. Tries to break to the downside. Failing a second time, maybe. Fail breakout. I don't know if he'll do the same thing again. That'd be pretty wild. Certainly trying to. Certainly trying to. Held to the tick, man. To the tick. Nutty. Nutty. I did literally the exact same thing. Crazy. Craziness. Can't believe it's set up literally the same. Wow. I don't see that very often. Oh, my playlist must have ended. There's the target that I was looking for on the first one. Just happened on the second one. So there, we tested our liquidity point on the 5-minute chart, like barely, literally barely. It's failing so far to break out, but in fact, I think it went by 1 tick. Did go by 1 tick so far. So, 3-legged push. Third leg was the final flag, small push. We're getting an attempt at a reversal off of this level. Do we get a 2-legged push back up? The 5-minute chart, this being leg 1. be very cautious still approaching that moving average. One tick poke inside bar. If I was long, I would definitely be very hesitant to be holding the trade now. There was a lot of trade entries for me today, to be honest. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 trade entries. That's a lot for me in one session. And the even crazier part is that they all worked. That never happens. This one probably I would have got shaken out of. That's for sure. This one got tagged out at break even if I was expecting the full target. I don't know if I would have been emotionally ready to give back 10 points. There's probably no way. Would have saw that 2-bar and friggin' got so scared. Yeah, too fast, man. Too fast, too big a risk. But it is good for my practice and my confidence and stuff. Just still trying. I'm still very much trying to grow confidence and believe in my setups. So we're trying again here. We're gonna actually succeed at pushing above a little bit. Still struggling. There we go. Actually get above it with a little bit of confidence. So we have put in our first attempt at the audible bottom. Little W happening. Third leg right up over that third push down. Textbook. Yeah, 12:30. To be honest, like 6 trade signals already. If I'm being honest, there's no way that I'd be trading anymore. I don't even look for 6. Like 1 to 5 a day is kind of like where I'm at. 6 is a lot. That's a busy session. And yeah, systematically and like trying to be like a robot, taking them all could have worked, but would I have taken them all? Not currently, for sure. I didn't take any of them, but if the extremes weren't so many points, would I have taken them all? It's been a long time since I've taken 6 trades in a day, that's for sure. Get below this. Yeah, I was gonna say below that is a good limit order location for that 5-minute chart. Yeah, it's I'll be honest, I definitely I didn't think going into the open this morning that this is what today was going to be. Once we started though, you know, I was definitely then, okay, well, we're probably going to check the low yesterday, and we're pretty much there, you know, not to the exact number, but we're very close. But looking at the daily chart, how it's forming, I mean, depending on where we close today, breaking down underneath that 4,500 is definitely not out of the question in very near future, unless we closed like way back up. We showed that we continue to hold higher lows down here on the daily, but I don't know. Great limit order location for that 5-minute chart right underneath the 1-minute support. Boom. What's my hourly chart looking like? Do we make it to the other side yet? So again, downtrend channel still holding. Failed to break out right at the open this morning. We're in our push down. We kind of slammed right through these levels, so maybe we see a little bit of a buyback and retest some of this underside. And then maybe we continue down. Test the lower side of this again. Been respecting it pretty good so far for a while. Respecting the channel. My morning routine today was off. I didn't get to work out or anything before the market opened. My mental was, everything was different for me this morning, so I kind of went into the day a little bit different than normal. This is going to be the first time that our 5-minute chart has touched the moving average today after we lost it. Yeah, 100%. I agreed 100%, man. You just feel you're different. I just felt different. It wasn't the same routine. First touch of the moving average. It's got to be some significance there. Definitely should be some profit taking there from those bottom longs, that's for sure. Even though I didn't take those trades down there, I'm still very, very happy that I was able to like be patient, but then read what was happening accurately. That was good. It was good. Those are literally the exact like inside breakout failure trades that I love. Inside after the spike, tries to go a tiny bit further, fails, goes the opposite way. On a smaller time frame, it's basically like that would be a bull flag or a bear flag, right? Big pull, bear flag, tries to break out, fails, goes the other way. Same thing here. And then same thing happened here. Spike back up. We knew we were in our downtrend, right? Spike up, inside candle, tries to go just above, fails, rejects the other way, sell it underneath, boom. Those failed breakouts. Love it. Love it. Definitely getting a reaction off that moving average. I don't know what it'll amount to, but I was watching for the same concept here. One last push inside, but didn't go up before it fell through. So no setup. Nothing I want to do here. We had such a downward strong momentum today. Don't know what I expect, how much resistance I expect off this moving average. If we break back below here already, back below 28, that was kind of where we pulled back and then went higher after we broke out. We kind of came back and retested our high and did get us a little bit higher. If we reject and end up going lower than that, we might see a little bit of a deeper pullback again. We did lose that level. Definitely not the greatest thing. There's our deeper pullback we expected if we lost that level. Maybe we see these the lows of this W hold, but that's deep. That's a deep pullback. Uh-oh. My Google Home was beeping at me. It was just a test. It's okay, puppy. It was just a test. Dogs get super anxious as soon as there's any kind of like smoke alarm sounds or anything like that. So what did it hold? Like 2 ticks from the low so far? I don't know. I think I'm gonna call it for the day right there. Do my review. Definitely not gonna take a trade right now. There was lots of opportunities today, but I had good discipline in the reasons that I didn't take them. So, I mean, it was all just risk, the amount of risk required. This one was a miss though. This was a legit miss because I did have everything I needed and it was within risk tolerance. I remember at this point I was like, ooh, that's a nice 2-bar. I disregarded the momentum like ignition altogether. Yeah. We had a nice open this morning. It tested above, pretty key area from overnight. It also tried to break out of our big downtrend from the last couple days. It failed the breakout. So we expected quite a downward push. It gave us, you know, the information we needed pretty early on. There was no real setups through here for me I was looking for. And then momentum ignition right there. We ended up with 6 candles in a row. Now this went just below our first liquidity level and we started to get, you know, profit taking and a little bit of longs. And it threw me off a little bit visually. I knew at this point I was looking for a low 1 opportunity, but I didn't. My brain was kind of switching because I saw that and I just wasn't ready. When that candle formed, like the short below it for my low 1, I definitely was not prepared. I was visually looking and talking about something else and it just happened. So that was a miss, straight up a miss. Entry would have been 64.5. Stop it was 67.5, so within risk tolerance for sure. And we got our retest of the extreme literally within the 2 1-minute candles. Almost 10 points right away. So that trade was a miss, but a great trade. We got another 2-legged pullback opportunity here, or sorry, the first 2-legged pullback opportunity here. We had our nice downtrend continuing. Price tried to go short once, failed, come up, gets closer to the moving average, sets up for the second one. Now, the reason that I did not get short here was because visually, this is like a decent signal bar, but it's not as good as I would like really, really push for currently. So just because it has such a taller wick, it did close on its low though, which is pretty good. It didn't have much wick on bottom, which was the more important part. But the price to get in was 52.75 entry, and my stop out was going to be 58. So max risk for not like perfect setup. So I let that one slip by as well. Same thing happened though. Worked out perfect. This one actually went on full extension right away. Nice 2 or 3 to 1 without even like barely extending. Another great trade. And then market went a little lower, still one timing on the 5-minute chart. We never actually got any real hesitation until we got down to here below 2 of the major liquidity levels. We started to get a little bit of a buy up, and this is when I was really I was trying to make sure that I stayed on the right side of the trend and understand that that was such a big push. We now have done just a small 2-legged pullback on the 5-minute chart. This thing could keep going like quite a ways. You know, it didn't V up or anything. This was a great 2-legged pullback opportunity. Now, it didn't get a good signal up here to get short off anything to line up with it. So no trade. But after it had confirmed, right? It barely broke out the bottom, started to buy up, but wasn't sure at that point if it was going to, you know, actually do a reversal and fail this breakout, or if we were just going to stall a little bit and come back down. So when this popped up and then gave an immediate reversal right here at this underside, that's a great signal and good context. We had a quick spike with trend. Now we have the inside candle. We have just barely a test below or above, sorry, the inside and the break to attempt the breakout off that little flag. It failed and came back down. Could have went short right underneath that. But this one as well, I think, was a little bit high risk. It was 43.75 entry and 51 exit. So yeah, same thing. It's around the max risk, but didn't take it just for that one concept, right? We're a little bit above max risk, and I'd already missed a few trades. There was just a lot of indecision and no commitment or follow through on that. Like, I'm still a little hesitant to take that max risk or a little bit bigger than max risk size. Like, it just doesn't feel good. Even though, you know, if I would have taken it any of these times, I would have made double my risk and then been able to afford to trade again properly. But this is, you know, something I'm working on. And then we had another momentum ignition off of that trade entry. Get down here, and we knew we were momentum ignition, so we're looking to short the first candle to make a new low again. One small candle. This one bought up a little bit as well, and then rejected, so you could have got short on the first candle to make a low. So you would have been filled at 25.75. Stop out was 30.75. So again, we're like 5.5 points for this, because it would have been a couple ticks above that for my stop out. So, you know, as above max risk again. So again, this one though wasn't quite, didn't follow through quite as well. It did go, you know, 5 points. So you got like a good 1-to-1, but then it snapped back relatively quickly. So this one probably, like, if I was in this trade, I usually go for 1.5-to-1. It didn't quite give it before it snapped back, so that would have scratched me out at break even for sure. I don't, these are kind of like breakout trades, so I don't generally let them come back against me at all. And then no trade set up through here until we get our two-legged pullback right here. And didn't take this one because the signal bar was a 2-bar, but I didn't like its presentation. It started like really low. You know, it wasn't near the high. It did I guess it did reject, and it did engulf the whole candle and everything, but it wasn't the normal setup that I like to trade. Plus the risk was like way too big. So no trade setup through there. And then we got down here at the bottom, and we had been counting legs, and we knew we had done 2 legs and then met quite a lot of accumulation. So we expected like a third one, but a minor third one. Happened exactly like that. We had the nice push down after it almost debated, you know, trying to hold. But ultimately, if you look and count the legs, we had the two-legged pullback. You get the sell off that breaks the stair stepping. You resell the retest of the high that broke the stair stepping, expecting a new low. Literally textbook right there. But if this would have set up and gone above and then rejected, would have taken it as a trade setup, but it didn't happen that way, so no trade setup. Now at the low, we had that big candle sell off, and then a couple inside bars, and then an attempt to break out to the low, and then immediate rejection to the upside. This was a great inside reversal right there. Worked out phenomenal. Same thing though, I wasn't quick enough or comfortable with how I had to trade it. I had to accept like 6 points of risk to get into the trade, because I was breakout trading it, and I would have had to have had the order resting there before it ever even started to come back, because when that thing came back, it came back instant. It was just like bang. So you probably maybe even would have got a tick of slippage on that breakout trade. So I hummed and hawed quite a bit, and in my head I was like, you know, we're probably going to touch this moving average or somewhere around here and retest that entry. That's literally exactly what happened, and it did give an entry within $200 worth of risk. But I guess at this point I was kind of like, just had accepted that maybe I wasn't going to take trades today because the risk was so big on pretty much every trade, and I had missed so many good trade opportunities. Psychologically for me, I know that in the past, and if I start not trading and missing trades for whatever reason, I basically don't ever end up pulling the trigger that session, because it creates this, like, the same thing I've talked about before. If I've seen so many good opportunities go by, when I eventually, in the past, when I eventually get into a trade, it almost always would lose. And then I'd become mentally frustrated that I didn't take 1, 2, 3 opportunities. And then by the time that I finally was able to pull the trigger, that one ended up losing. But if I would have taken all of them on the day, you know, that one loser wouldn't have mattered. So that's a little bit of a problem on me that is still kind of carrying over from the past. Yeah. And then when I will say that the way that I manage this trade, these reversal trades, I expect a 2-legged move out of it, right? So it did happen. My initial target would have been up here, right? But we did get the 2-leg off of the reversal. So the stop would have been trailed up, and then inevitably, if I was trying to really be greedy with it, it would have got tagged out at break even because it did come back down before it hit the target. Now, if I'm looking at it like P&L wise, I don't think that mentally I would have been able to give back 10 points. That was literally a 10-point move. There's no way. Like, I would have seen 10 points, and regardless of where my target was, like, that's a huge trade for me. There's no way I would have been able to, like, mentally give back 10 points. I probably wouldn't even have held it to 10 points. I probably would have seen it get to like 8 points, 7 points, and been like trailing the stop so aggressive that the second that it showed any sign of weakness, it would have tagged me out. So it probably would have tagged me out in the kerfuffle that happened around the moving average. Market came straight back down again, retested the low. It literally gave the same opportunity again. When it held the bottom tick, like literally to the tick, never even poked below. We get the check right back down, the inside, tries to break out with trend, fails, comes straight back up, and then this time it really did work and come back up to into the full target that you were expecting. Same thing though, expecting 2 legs out of this trade entry. So the first leg really pushed, right? Second leg pulled back, came up again, would have trailed the stop to here. And then it would have tagged me out right there. And that would have been proper management as far as like what a bot would do. Like, that is how I have the strategy designed and written down on how to manage it. But same thing, psychologically, looking at that P&L would have thrown me for a loop, man, because I mean, you're at like 6 points of risk here, but we get 12 points. You get 2 to 1 on the first leg right away. Boom, 12 points. Like, those are big wins. Like, I don't normally take wins even close to that big. So, like, I want to say I could manage the trade the same way that I'm supposed to, but I haven't felt it. Like, I haven't been in that position where I've been up 12 points and I'm like, holy shit, I'm up 12 points. What do I do? If I were to like systematically read the strategy and do exactly what I'm supposed to, that's what should happen. Trail the stop, get pinged out on the trailed stop. Or if you want to be super cautious, you take your profits on the extension of the second leg. But if you want to be greedy, you trail the stop, hoping that you get a second big push. But yeah, wild. All of these trades, you know, paid out more than 2 to 1. Except for this one. This one would have been a scratch trade because I didn't get my 1.5 out of that low 1 opportunity. The low ones, I just go for 1.5. So all in all, though, a really good learn day. The price action was on my side today. Like, it was pretty clean. There was lots of opportunities, more opportunities than I would normally see in a trading session. But it really does, you know, I should really take it as a learning opportunity and a confidence growth, because I stalked these trades, right? Like, we were stalking these trades, expecting the movement to happen that happened. I just kind of just, you know, watched it happen instead of doing anything off of it. But again, right? Good growth and confidence growth that like you are reading it right when those situations present, man. You gotta take them. You gotta take them. These are our setups, and they happened multiple times today. So if this was a normal trading session and the candles weren't as big as they are, you know, there should be no reason why I didn't take these trades. Absolutely not. No reason whatsoever. So yeah, good day, good session. Didn't lose a bunch of money, didn't make anything, but you know, I didn't FOMO into anything though. That's something I do want to say. There was even a few opportunities where if I would have FOMO'd in where I wanted to, it did work. But that's not the point. The point is I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be watching price action and just be like, I want this. And like that's great if it is a setup that I normally trade. If it's 1, 2, or 3, then that's perfect. If it's not 1, 2, or 3, you cannot take the trade. You do not do it. It doesn't matter how good it looks. Because as soon as I start doing that, I jump right back into my old ways and I start trading all willy-nilly like I used to do. Like as soon as I do it once, as soon as I allow myself to do it one time, that's it. Like then I start especially if I get a good reaction out of it. If I would have FOMO'd into this short and I got a big payout out of it and it worked, I would have been like, fuck yeah, I'm doing it again. And then I'm doing it again. And then now before I know it, my consistency practice that I've put in this last month just like disappears. And that's really not what I'm trying to do. I've done that for so long. I know that doesn't equal profitability in the long run. So I need to stay consistent and practice what I'm doing. Really hone in on these like couple small things, and that's it. That's it. But yeah, hope you have a good weekend, man. If you're still around, have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning. If you take any more trades today, you know, good luck, smart trading, follow the plan, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, we'll see you same time Monday morning. Have a good rest of your day.